This woman has been dead for 7 years, but something is wrong. While she should be in her grave, she is in a bed, dressed in a wedding gown and sprayed with perfume. And the man sleeping next to her believes he is the most romantic lover in history. Meet Carl Tanzler, the man who stole death. When the events began, Carl was just a young man. He kept having the same dream every night. To him, these were far from ordinary dreams. On the contrary, they were visions sent to him by fate. The face he saw in his dreams was always the same. An exotic, dark-haired, enchanting woman. This woman entering his dreams was perhaps one of his ancestors who died 100 years ago. Carl's belief in this grew so much that he dedicated his life to finding this ghost woman. Years passed. Carl grew up, got married, had children, but he could never get that dream out of his mind. In 1926, he left his family behind and moved to America, to Florida. And one day, while working as an X-ray technician in a hospital, that event which changed his destiny became the beginning of everything. The patient walking through the door was Elena. The moment Carl saw her, he froze. It was her. That woman from his dreams was now standing before him in flesh and blood. Beautiful Elena. But fate had arrived with a bitter twist. Elena had tuberculosis. In those years, tuberculosis meant your death warrant had been signed. Carl wasn't a doctor, but there was nothing he wouldn't try for the sake of his love. Strange elixirs, electric shocks, even X-ray machines of his own invention that he thought would regenerate Elena's cells. Desperate in the face of tuberculosis, her family allowed Carl's crazy treatments. Carl bought her dresses, jewelry, and declared his love. But Elena's only wish was to recover. She gave no response to Carl's obsessive love. And unfortunately, despite all efforts, Elena lost her life in 1931. You would expect a normal story to end here, wouldn't you? People cry, bury the dead, and move on with their mourning. This is what normally happens. But for Carl, the story was just beginning. He had a massive, expensive mausoleum built specially for Elena. But the strange part is, he was the only owner of the key to the tomb. He would go to the tomb every night and spend hours inside. Even stranger, he even had a telephone line installed inside the tomb. According to his claim, Elena wasn't dead. He was chatting with her. Carl said Elena was begging him, that he needed to get her out of there, that she was cold in the dark. And Carl did what was befitting of a lover. He took her out of there. One night, he carried the rotting corpse from the tomb to his home with a wheelbarrow. Exactly 7 years. He lived in the same house with Elena's corpse for exactly 7 years. So, how do you live in the same house with a rotting body for 7 years? Carl worked almost like a Frankenstein. He tied Elena's bones together using piano wires. He replaced her rotting eyes with new glass eyes. He wrapped silk fabrics in place of her shedding skin and covered it with wax. Her hair had fallen out. He put a wig on her that he made from hair he got from her mother. He dressed her in the most beautiful clothes, as if preparing her for a ceremony, laid her in his bed, sang songs to her, and even danced. When neighbors sometimes looked through the window, they thought Carl was dancing with a giant doll, but no one could guess the truth. Now I'm sure that terrible question has come to all of your minds. Did anything physical happen between them? Although not written very explicitly, some details found in the autopsy reports regarding this matter, especially some structural changes made to the corpse and inserted tubes, suggest that Carl did not just experience a platonic love, but reached a dark dimension verging on necrophilia. but this part remains a mystery that keeps it secret. Finally, suspicious of the rumors, Elena's sister couldn't take it anymore and raided the house. And the scene she encountered was horrific. The thing lying in the bed was not her sister, but a skeleton inside a wax-coated shell. Carl was arrested. But do you know what the most surprising thing so far is? The public was not disgusted by him. The newspapers of the era introduced him with headlines like "A romantic hero who conquered death for the sake of love." Everyone spoke of this obsessive loyalty with admiration. He was released due to the statute of limitations. After being released, Carl spent his days alone, or so we thought. In 1952, he was found dead, lying in the arms of another life-sized wax replica of Elena that he had secretly made. As for the real Elena, she finally found peace in a secret and unmarked grave where no one, not even Carl, could disturb her again. But Carl, in his twisted mind, he didn't just cheat death, he married it. Sleep well,